So about 20 years ago, I went to a movie with this Jewish chick, nice Jewish girl, and some Jewish director, Levinson, I think Barry Levinson, made some film about being Jewish in Baltimore in the 1960s and how the Jews suffered, that there were swimming pools that had signs up saying no Jews allowed. And I couldn't get particularly emotionally involved. At the end of the film, I stood up and said something like, "That was stupid." And my date was all offended. She thought that this was like an incredibly moving film, and she thought that I was very detached from my emotions, and she was disappointed. And it reminds me of when I used to write on the porn industry. People always had the idea that I wanted to be part of the porn industry. That do you want to be one of us? They either asked that or they took it for granted. And I always thought that was weird. I was just a reporter writing on the industry. I didn't want to be part of it. I used to report on the National Football League for Cahill Radio in the Sacramento area. And at least professional athletes and politicians. I interviewed Senator Alan Cranston and San Francisco 49ers coach Bill Walsh, and quarterback Joe Montana, Steve Young, running back Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, safety, etc. At least professional athletes, they never had illusions that I wanted to be part of them, right? They understood that I was just doing a job. And so now I've been dancing with Mike Enoch this week, and he's got this illusion that I want to be part of the alt-right, that I want Mike Enoch to build bridges to people like me. And I don't. I don't want Mike Enoch to do anything. I don't want him to build bridges. Building bridges is something that winners do. Okay, Mike Enoch is addicted to losing. I like Mike Enoch. I think he has sometimes some great content, some funny insights. He's a pretty good podcaster. He's a strong person who's able to stand up against incredible opposition. But I don't want anything from him. I'm not looking for him to build bridges to me or to Nathan Kofnas or to the Jews. So, Mike Enoch often says on his podcast that, like Luke Ford, he likes the alt-right. You know, he's totally down with the race thing. He just wants the alt-right to accept the Kofnas critique. And to me, the alt-right is just like when I was writing on the Dallas Cowboys or the San Francisco 49ers. It's a subject I write about or stream about, but I'm not an activist, okay? I wrote on the porn industry for 10 years. I can't activate for anything. I can't promote anything. Anything that I promote gets smudged by the sordid nature of my life. Okay, I'm not an activist. I'm not pro-alt-right. I'm not anti-alt-right. I think the alt-right sometimes has facts and logic on its side. Sometimes I think the Southern Poverty Law Center has facts and logic on its side. Sometimes I think New York Times critiques of the alt-right are sharp and have facts and logic on their side. Sometimes I think alt-right critiques of the New York Times are sharp and have facts and logic on their side. So I'm not an activist. It's not like I want Richard Spencer to do anything or Mike Enoch to do anything or Jared Taylor to do anything. I'm just a bloke like streaming and giving my opinions, and I have no credentials, right? I'm just a bloke driving a car, like talking off the top of my head. And I enjoy Mike Enoch as a podcaster, as a man, as someone who's very strong to stand up against incredible levels of opposition. I enjoy dancing with him. he's often very funny. Talking about him and Richard Spencer is often terribly amusing, but I'm not emotionally involved. I wasn't emotionally involved about the porn industry, whether like Vivid Video was up or down, whether like Vivid Video should do more facial shots, or Metro Home Video, whether they need to do more ATM. I never worried about that. So I could just as easily spend my streaming time just specializing on the Dallas Cowboys. And so if I did that, I would say things like, the Dallas Cowboys need to take more shots down the field. Okay? But I wouldn't be losing sleep over it. And I wouldn't be trying to persuade Jason Garrett to take more shots down the field. It would just be me, a bloke in a car, driving around, giving my opinion that the Cowboys need to get vertical. They need to stretch the field. Like too often, teams are putting 8 in the box to stuff Ezekiel Elliott. And when the Cowboys see Amari Cooper with one-on-one coverage, they should take some bloody shots down the field, mate. Okay? And I do a show and I talk about taking shots down the field. And maybe they should use 2 high safeties more often. Or, they're not running enough draw plays. Whatever. That doesn't mean that I have some, some agenda to change the way the Cowboys operate. I would look at the Cowboys as a completely independent entity from me. I remember when I used to cover the National Football League, my fandom kind of receded, and it just became a job. So right now, the Dallas Cowboys are not my job, so I can be a fan. But if the Cowboys became my job, I would cease to be a fan very quickly, and I'd just be giving my opinions on, I think they need to make this roster move, and I think this particular matchup is going to be difficult, that Tyson Smith hasn't practiced this week and he's questionable for Thursday night's game. I just don't think Dak Prescott is going to have time in the pocket to challenge the Saints deep on Thursday night. So I expect the Saints to load up the box against Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm afraid the Cowboys are going to have difficulty moving the ball. Well, I'm not actually afraid. It's not going to affect my happiness level any. So it doesn't matter to me what Mike Enoch does or Richard Spencer does or what the alt-right does. I'm just a bloke in a car with an iPhone talking off the top of my head. I would like to see the development of an alternativism. Yeah, I would like to see that, but what has become known as the alt-right is just, it's a mess. But I'm not losing sleep over it. Like, it doesn't matter to me whether or not Mike Enoch and the Right Stuff builds bridges to Jews. It's something that I'll bant with them about, that I'll joke around with them about, just as if I were in news conferences every day with Jason Garrett, bants with him a little bit about, you had Amari Cooper one-on-one on the outside. The Redskins were loading up the box against Ezekiel Elliott. Why didn't you take any shots down the field? Why don't the Cowboys go vertical? Why do they run all these stupid button hook patterns for their wide receivers? No other team in the league does this. And all these wide receiver screens that you run, they suck. Okay, that's how I talk to Jason Garrett. I mean, that's how I talk to Mike Enoch. It doesn't matter to me what the alt-right does. It doesn't matter to me what leaders the alt-right do. I mean, if they go out there encouraging terrorism and criminal activity, then of course I will condemn it and distance myself from it and say this is disgusting, this is wrong, and worse than that, it is stupid and it is suicidal. But I mean, I can't diagnose Mike Enoch as an alcoholic. Like, that diagnosis is just something that people give themselves. Okay? That's not for me. To me, just off the top of my head, it seems to me that Mike Enoch is just addicted to losing. it's really important to him to crash any momentum, any positive visibility he has in the world, any movement he has going, like any prospects that he and his friends have, anything that he believes in. It seems to me, from my outside perspective in Los Angeles, that he's just addicted to driving it into the ground, just as the Sky King stole a plane and did some barrel loops, said some interesting things to air traffic control, and then drove the plane deliberately into the ground. Please, F off, Rodney. That's not very Christian, Mr. Very. I mean, what kind of language is that? This is all about the love and inclusion here. This is Big Tent. This is Big Tent conservatism. Okay, we're all constitutional conservatives on this stream. Okay? If we want to consume edgy content, we listen to Ben Shapiro. Okay? Who needs anything more edgy than Ben Shapiro? What America has primarily is a spiritual crisis, not a political or economic crisis. We're all Ben Shapiro constitutional conservatives on this stream. We don't use that kind of language, Mr. Jones Very. So I could specialize in Jewish literature. For example, for a year or two, around 2004, 2005, I was just interviewing Jewish novelists. Okay, Mr. Very, you can go ahead and swear. It just doesn't seem very Christian of you. I mean, would Ben Shapiro want you to swear? Like, please, folks, before you write anything in the chat, ask yourself, would Ben Shapiro want me to write this? Would Ben Shapiro be proud of me if I wrote this? Are my comments reflective of what our founding fathers had in mind for civil discourse? Okay? Ask yourself, are my comments designed to promote the interests of the Republican Party, or am I subverting the Republican Party? Like, am I speaking out against the interests of paycheck conservatism? Just, that's all I'm saying. So I don't consider myself smart enough to have one clear vision for America, or for the right, or the dissident right. So I just stay humble. I enjoy listening to Mike Enoch or Richard Spencer on occasion, and so if I see something, if I see something, I say something, because it's easy. It just flows. And whenever I talk about Mike Enoch or Richard Spencer, I get a lot of viewers in my streams. Like, I really wanted to make this stream today about my relationship with God. But you know what would happen if I did this stream all about my relationship with God? I'd have 13 viewers right now. I don't want 13 viewers. I want to live up in elevated land where you got 55 live viewers on a stream, okay? That's where the air is sweet and clean. So the guy who made The Sopranos, he just wanted to do a TV show about his relationship with his mother. But he realized if he did a literal TV show about his relationship with his mother, he'd never sell it, no one would watch. So instead, use the Talmudic, he said, okay, it's going to be a TV show about a guy's relationship with his mother, but we're going to make it a mafia show. Then people will tune in and watch. So I'm making this an alt-right show, but really this is just about my relationship with God. I'm just speaking about Mike Enoch as a metaphor. Like, we all have Mike Enoch inside of us, and we can give in to the Mike Enoch inside of us and engage in addiction to losing, or we can step into the sunlight of the Spirit and become winners like Ben Shapiro. So yeah, I used to just specialize in Jewish literature. I interviewed about 40 Jewish novelists. and was planning a book about it. And then I wanted to write a book on the history of UCLA's economics department. So I floated with that for a few weeks, and I sent off an interview request to the head of UCLA's economics department, I think in 2004, and I didn't get any response. So I didn't really get access, so I gave up on that idea. Another time I just specialized in Jewish journalism, and I interviewed almost all the major editors of Jewish publications in America, and some, I think, overseas as well. And so that was my specialty. I've had an interest in the dissident right. It's exciting to me. It's like the mafia or the porn industry. It's forbidden. It's this dark, forbidden subculture, like very masculine. A lot of energy, a lot of ideas, a lot of like edgy memes, a lot of great humor. It's fun. It's fun reading about the alt-right. It's energizing. Like it's hard to find the energy, for me anyway, sometimes, to go through the day and like reading some edgy tweets, edgy memes, some great GIFs, some provocative edgelord content, and I just find it energizing and fun. Okay, we're having fun here. I mean, when I listen to conventional, syndicated, nationally syndicated, right-wing talk radio like Ben Shapiro, like all it does is kind of leave me pissed off. I don't want to be pissed off. I want to be happy. I want to be energized. I want to feel good. I want a happy life. I want to laugh a lot. And the laughs and the energy and the edgy takes and the transgression, that's on the alt-right. Go to China, you'll get a girl. Is this manic, Luke? No, this is Luke after watching some Ben Shapiro. Just so energizing. Feels good. Less feeling. So you have to pick a specialty if you're gonna write about something on an ongoing basis. And so I need a specialty, a topic that gives me energy, that gives me laughter. And yeah, my mania is just really the Holy Spirit coming through. And it would be very easy for me to just specialize in Jewish stuff. But here's the problem with that. I really care. Like, I really care about the welfare of Jews and the holiness of Torah and the profundity of the Rambam. I've written a lot about rabbinic sex abuse, and it just takes way too much of a toll on me. Like, I don't really want to specialize in Jewish scandals. I mean, it isolates me in Jewish life. It's hard on me psychologically. I'll question, like, why did I confess? Like, another rabbi diddler. It just really takes a toll when I specialize in Jewish scandals, particularly rabbinic sex scandals, rabbis interfering with kids. And I just drove by this guy. He's dressed as an Orthodox Jew. He's got the total froom speak down. He can like completely speak like an Orthodox Jew, and he's a drug dealer. Okay, and it's a little mentally unhinged. He's on the radar of the LAPD. He has a lot of dealing with drug dealing gangs, and he's a drug addict. And if you just look at him, there's something very wrong with him. But he's got all the Orthodox Jewish speak down. But I don't want to be specializing in critiquing my own people, my own synagogues. I hate, like, I've broken stories about rabbis I knew who were doing bad things, and that takes a toll. Like, I just want my Jewish world to be a happy place. I'll do some of that on occasion, but I'm not emotionally involved in the fortunes of the alt-right, so I can just bounce. I can laugh, I can criticize, I can pontificate, I can interview, and it doesn't matter. Come Shabbos, I can go to shul and everyone's cool. They don't care as long as I make money from these streams. I could talk about Mein Kampf all day long, and nobody in my Jewish world will give me a hard time. Like it's a parnasa. It's a way to make a living. I can talk about, almost anything I want. I just don't want to specialize in Jewish scandals. I'm happy to specialize in alt-right scandals because that takes no emotional toll on me. If Mike Enoch's or Richard Spencer's fortunes rise or fall, like, my happiness level is completely unaffected. Bye-bye.